Shalom, Israel. It's your boy New Breed, and this is part 2 of why the conscious community denounced the Bible. In this edition, we're going to break down the mindset of the articulate complainer. That's right, the articulate complainer. Let's get into the nitty-gritty. First and foremost, before I do that, I want to ask all the people out there a question. What does Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Nat Turner, and Marcus Garvey all have in common? Well, all of these men were revolutionary because of their faith of a higher power. Their search for the Most High God. And all of these men were scholarly. All of these men studied from the Holy Bible. Because any scholar who calls themselves a scholar knows the rich history of the scriptures. No one in the world is looking for Buddha's prophecies. No one in the world is looking for Islam's prophecies. Nostradamus was wrong. The Mayan calendar, wrong. They all were looking at Bible prophecies. Malcolm X himself spoke of the valley of dry bones. Martin Luther King had an impact based on just his Christian belief. Nat Turner, he understood that the book of Ecclesiastes, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. He began to rise against the demonic nation. It gave him heart, power, vigor. Marcus Garvey, he wanted to leave Babylon. He wanted to encourage those to spiritually and physically leave their Babylonian captivity. Why? Because they were all studiers of the Holy Scriptures. And they made a huge impact on what we call the truth today. So what is the conscious community? What are these New Age prophets? What impact are they truly having on society? How much impact has meditation had on freeing us as a nation? How much impact has staring into a mirror impacted us as a nation? The conscious community is nothing more but articulate complainers. A wise person told me, if you're going to talk about something without bringing a solution, then just shut the hell up about it. Because no matter how well you can speak, no matter how articulate you come across, no matter what kind of words you use, no matter what kind of people like your personality, if you're talking about the ills, the problems, the dysfunction of our people, and you're not bringing solution, you are nothing more than an articulate complainer. And see, like-minded people dwell towards these people. A lot of people like to complain about everything in life instead of thinking positive and seeing the cup half full. Looking at positivity in every situation. Even when your back's against the wall, you look at the light at the end of the tunnel. Even though you're struggling, even though you're faced with persecutions, you're looking at the light at the end of the tunnel. A lot of people don't think that way. A lot of people are weak-minded. That's why a lot of people have to roll in packs. A lot of people can't stand alone. A lot of people have to be accepted. A lot of people have to be liked. So on and so forth. Why? Because a lot of these people are weak-minded. Hive mentalities. The strong stand alone. The strong think for themselves regardless of the persecutions they face. And they see things from a positive standpoint. But seeing as how it's open game, it's a huge demographic of people who are weak-minded. It's very easy for the articulate complainer to attract these people like magnets. And that's what's happening within the conscious community. One thing about the Holy Scriptures is it does bring solutions to our problems. You got moral, ceremonial, social, all these laws is what can build a nation. So instead of thinking of how special we are individually, we need to start thinking more collectively. The conscious community lack that. They only want to survive off the tribulations and dysfunction of their own people while complaining and fleecing the flock at the same time. And truth be told, their destruction is coming near. Very, very near. Not far, but near. So, what we have here, ladies and gentlemen, is the narrow path. And that's the path that we're going to choose to walk. We're going to follow the Most High God, the Creator. We're going to humble ourselves enough to understand that we were created. We were created to be spiritual vessels. We were created in the image of the Most High. We are not the Most High. We were created in His image. So we need to start operating as if that's the case. But I just thought I'd make part 2 because I got cut off on the last video. And I wanted to make sure that I closed this thing out with everything that I wanted to say in the video. But I'd like to thank y'all for viewing. Make sure you hit that thumbs up and that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Shalom and peace.